Hello, my name is Tim Manzke, and I'm going to show an example of graphing the equation 8y plus 2x equals -4. I'm going to use some different techniques to find ways to graph the equation. Different instructors will ask you to graph an equation using a variety of different techniques, so I will go through them to help you have a better understanding of how to graph linear equations. The first method I want to show you is to write an equation in what's called slope-intercept form. The form is where you solve for y. The form is y equals mx plus b. When you have an equation written in slope-intercept form, meaning that you have y by itself, you can identify the slope, which is going to be the number in front of the x. Generally, most textbooks will use the letter m. You'll also be able to find the y-intercept. The y-intercept is going to have x coordinate of 0 and your y coordinate of b. And again, if the constant is positive, then it'll be a positive b. If it's negative, be a negative b. So taking this equation right here, 8y plus 2x equals 4. If I wanted to write the equation in slope-intercept form, I would need to solve for y. First thing I need to do is I need to get the 8y by itself. That means I need to get rid of the 2x. What I can do is I can add a negative 2x to both sides of the equation. What's going to happen on the left-hand side is that the 2x's are going to cancel out, which will leave me with just 8y equals -4 plus negative 2x, which is the same as saying negative 2x plus -4, using a commutative property to switch the two numbers around. The next thing I need to do is get rid of the 8 in front of the y. Now mathematically, what you would do is you multiply both sides of the equation by 1/8. And what will happen on the left-hand side, the 8's are going to cancel out. On the right-hand side, you use the distributive property. And if I simplify this expression on the right-hand side, you would end up with the fraction 2/8 and then -4/8. And if you're comfortable with reducing fractions to lowest terms, you'll have -1/4 x plus 1/2 as the equation by itself. Now, a couple challenges right here. First of all, you're dealing with fractions. I'll have students tell me, I don't want to deal with fractions. Okay, it's fair. You have other techniques available to you to graph an equation. One of the things you could do is you can find the x-intercept. Okay, if you want to find the x-intercept, you can set the y value equal to 0. Now I can go back to the original equation here, and I can replace the y value with 0. And then as a result, 8 times 0 will give me 0. And then I have 2x equals 4. Now, I need to get rid of that 2 in front of the x. And a technique you can use to multiply both sides by 1/2. Remember, what you do to one side of the equation, you have to do to the other. And from there, the left-hand side, the 2 and the 1/2 will cancel out. And this fraction becomes -4 divided by 2. Or you have the value -2 as a result. Alright, so the x-intercept in this case would be -2, 0. Now this value, this ordered pair, would be helpful for graphing the equation. It's a whole number. You're dealing with whole numbers, not dealing with fractions. So that would be helpful in graphing the equation. The other thing we can do is we can create a table of values. Now again, some teachers will say graph using the x and y intercepts, or graph using finding a table of values, or graph using slope-intercept form. Showing all the methods so that you can pick the method that you're most comfortable with. Just going to create a table of values. We can have the x coordinate. We have the equation. And then we got the y coordinate. And we have the ordered pair. Okay, some of the values that we chose for x, we had -2, 0, that would be 1. Let's pick another value. Now, if you're not sure where to start, we can try a value like 1. And what this means for the equation, if x equals 1, is we'll replace x with 1 and then solve for y. So from here we can say, okay, 2 times 1 is going to give you 2. Solve for y. We're going to add -2 to both sides. And then when you do that, on the left-hand side, the 2's are going to cancel out. Right-hand side, -4 plus -2 is going to be -6. From there, I'm going to get rid of that 8, so I'm going to multiply both sides by 1/8. Again, when you do one side, you have to do the other. Multiply both sides by 1/8. And the 8's are going to cancel out. And you have negative 6/8. Now, if you reduce the fraction to lowest terms, because again, 6 is 3 times 2, 8 is going to be 2 times 4. You share a common factor of 2, that will cancel out. And you'll end up with a value of negative 3/4. Now, again, you're dealing with a fraction. I'm not exactly excited about fractions when it comes to graphing. I like to deal with whole numbers if possible. So like the ordered pair is going to be 1 comma negative 3/4. You can pick another value. Now, if I was looking at this, I would say, well, let's see if we can come up with another number that will help us. If you're not sure, maybe try 2. So again, I'm going to do is take this equation here. This time I'm going to replace x with 2 and then solve for y. Now here, 2 times 2 is going to be 4. I'm going to get rid of that plus 4 by adding a negative 4 to both sides. So I want to get that 8y by itself. Space here. And then from there, the 4's are going to cancel out. On the right hand side, negative 4 plus negative 4 is negative 8. And then what we do then is we're going to multiply both sides by 1/8. Now this is going to be an example that will work out kind of nice, because what's going to happen here is that the 8's are going to cancel out on the left hand side. And then what you're doing here is you're going to multiply 1/8 times negative 8, which is negative 8 over negative 8. I'm sorry, negative 8 over 8. And when you simplify this, this will equal negative 1. So you have some pieces of information that might help you with graphing. Created a table of values. Found the x and y intercepts. Let's go to the graphing part. Now, if I'm going to graph this in Microsoft Word, different schools have different requirements. We'll insert a table, sorry. Insert a table. Sorry. There you go. Insert table. I want 20 columns, 20 rows. It seems to be a pretty standard graph. Let's get rid of some of this blank space here. Okay, let's draw the X and Y axis. So I'm going to go to Shapes. I'm going to make a double arrow. Choose somewhere that you would consider to be the middle. Okay. I like to right click on it and I'll format the shape. I'll make it bigger. Get 3 points. Change the color. Make it black. Okay, that's going to be my y-axis. I'm going to insert another shape. Again, width, 3, color. Now, we came up with some points. I like to stick with the whole numbers. For example, 2, 1. So I'm going to insert a circle. Now it's kind of big, so let's make it smaller. I'll pick one corner and just try to make this circle small enough to fit on the grid. Right click, we can format the shape. Yeah, I can make it smaller. Let's see, format shape. Okay. You can right click, you can copy, Control V will paste enough points here to work with. We said 2, 1. If I were to plot that point on the grid, X is 2, the Y value is 1 is here. Again, pick a point, and try to get as close as you can on the coordinate. Another point, we said the x-intercept was -2, 0. Now, if I look at the slope of this line, we know that the slope is going to equal -1/4. I wonder if I made a mistake here. Oh, I'm sorry. -1. My mistake. The line has a negative slope. We said in this case here, solving the equation, I know here that the slope is going to equal -1/4, and the y-intercept is going to be 0, -1/2. That point's a little hard to graph, but we know that the slope means here is goes down down 1 and to the right 4 units. Okay, that will describe the rate in which the line goes down. So in other words, here, my slope goes down 1, goes over 1, 2, 3, 4, goes down 1, goes 1, 2, 3, 4. I can take another point where I'm going down 1, and goes 2, 3, and then goes down 1, goes 2, 3, goes down 1, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Excuse me. And if you wanted to, you can go in reverse. Go up 1 and to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you go up 1 to the left. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And again, excuse me. You have a pattern emerging on your grid. Now what we can do is draw a line through those points. Again, it's not perfect. But if you don't have a graphing program available to you, and you must create everything from scratch, this is one way to do it. Okay, so let's recap. We had an equation, 8y plus 2x equals -4. You could use the slope-intercept form to find the slope and the y-intercept. The slope was -1/4. The y-intercept (0, -1/2). If I look at my graph, this should be about where 1/2 should be, right here. Right here at this point here is my y-intercept. And it has a slope of -1/4, meaning it goes down 1 to the right 4, down 1 to the right 4, down 1 to the right 4, down 1 to the right 4. Okay, so you can find the slope and y-intercept. You can find the x-intercept by setting y equal to 0. Substitute it into the equation, solve for x. You got the x-intercept. And the x-intercept in this case was -2, count 0. You could create a table of values, picking values, say for x, and then solving for y. Like we picked x equals 1, substitute in the equation, solve for y. So 1, -3/4. If x equals 1, 3/4 would be about right here. Again, I don't like to use fractions for graphing. The answer is not as accurate. Picked another point for x, x equals 2. Y value was -1. And we plotted that point on the grid. Excuse me. And then we went through the process of creating a graph. I hope this was helpful. Sorry for the couple of mistakes I made there, but I think we got them all corrected. And we have the graph of the line. If you have any questions, please contact me. Otherwise, take care and have a nice day.